So we're doing a tutorial video on cooking live blue crab. I have my water here. Um, I got it to about halfway because I want to boil some and steam some. So as you see, okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm putting in a whole stick of butter. I like to have my butter and my water boil through a little bit with the seasonings and everything. I think that tastes the best. I don't know how everybody else do it. Sometimes I use two sticks. It just depends. So I'm going to grab some onions. I chopped up some onions. I did a half an onion actually and just chopped them up into like little triangular pieces. I don't really put too much onions in it. I'm not an onion fan, but I do use onions. Um, and also I have vinegar and I have garlic. I don't use a lot of garlic as well. The garlic, you don't want to use too much garlic. I make a sauce with mine, so I usually have sauce. I have garlic and onions in my sauce. I put most of the seasons that I put in my water in my sauce. I do make a sauce, like a butter sauce. So I'm doing some garlic powder, some onion powder. We also doing a little bit of salt. You don't have to do a lot. It's up to you. I like to use about a good 2 tablespoons of salt. I don't know. Just do it however you like. And we also have Old Bay. Oh yeah, and the vinegar. I did mention the vinegar. You only need a teaspoon of vinegar. You do not want to put a lot of vinegar in it. You don't want it overly vinegar. What I actually forgot here, that's a scent, and if you know, you know. I forgot on this step because I didn't do it with these particular crabs. I usually use a can of Bud Light. Um, if you know, you know. It gives it the best flavor, and like I wouldn't even worry about the alcohol because alcohol with boiling water, it like simmers that down, so it's not really alcoholic-y. But beer do give it like a great taste. So what I'm doing here is I'm just stirring up everything that I added in the pot as you've seen, and I'm gonna let it boil. So that's all you have to do from there, because once you add those seasonings, even if your water's boiling, your water's gonna simmer down a little bit, so you'll have to let it boil. So I came back with my tongs, and this part was a little bit hard for me just because I do my crabs two different ways, my blue crabs. I've actually done it 3 ways. I've grilled them, which requires popping off the shell. I've also popped off the shell before I boiled them. You actually have to kind of put them in like a shock or something, like put ice over them. That'll calm them down and actually like put them in like a sleep method. They won't be dead. That way you can pop off that shell, add them in. I'm just rambling over here, just letting you guys know that I'm about to try to do this. And I haven't, this is my first time making my blue crabs in almost a year. Because if you know, it's a season for blue crabs. And once that season goes out, once you're out of season, it's hard to find them. And I couldn't find them nowhere. I couldn't even find them when I found these. So I was having a hard time right here because there was one huge blue crabs, and I had mostly females, and she was ready to jump up out. She was ready to jump out of the cooler. And by me not doing this for a very long time, I was like, I'm trying to get the ones that's calm, not the ones that's aggressive. Um, so that's all I'm explaining right here. I'm still letting my water boil. And as you can see, because I did have to move my camera, the water is starting to boil. Now, you just want to get your crabs in as quick as possible once it start boiling. Because even I've noticed, even when I have my pot on high, but even when I put my blue crabs in, my water is not going to boil the same. And that always seems to be like an issue. So once you start dropping your food, it's like with anything that's boiling, that's not light. Your water is like gonna simmer down a little bit, so it got to come to a complete boil again. So here I was just explaining that we got a thug crab sitting in the cooler, and I had to gear myself up for that one. So I'm dropping them in. I think with this pot, I know for a fact I brought 2 dozen crabs, and I think I was able to get at least roughly 12, or it was a little bit more than 12. It's probably 16 crabs that I got in this pot at one time. So once you get all your crabs in the pot, we'll come back once I get all the crabs in the pot. Okay, so I did get my crabs in, and this is what they look like. It's good to put a little seasoning on top, so that's what I'm gonna do. And I got majority of them in. I got like, oh, that's good. So I got 21 crabs in this pot. So yeah, crab fest. And my water is still going higher temperature. I have it on high, so we'll be back when they get done so you guys can see what it looks like. So here's my finishing product. I still got some in there, what was left. This was from the first batch. Looking good. It's gonna taste even better. And thank you guys for watching my video. I'm gonna go and make some sauce for my crabs, and we gonna feast, because that's what we do.